So how did Mr. Rogers create the experience where kids can learn that feelings are mentionable and they're manageable? How did he do that? Well, when you think about how he did it, you come up with this really fundamental way that schools, in fact, can embrace the wisdom that Mr. Rogers had for all of us and teach not only reading, writing, arithmetic, very important 3 R's, but another 3 R's I'm going to suggest to you, which are the core of my talk, which is reflection, first extra R, relationships, the next R, and the third one is resilience. Because when you build a certain kind of approach to reflection, kids actually develop the capacity to mention their feelings and to then be able to manage them. Exactly what Mr. Rogers said we ought to be able to do. And that's the basis of emotional intelligence, actually. And it's the basis, as you'll see in a moment, of social intelligence. Because when you understand your own feelings and learn to manage them, you actually can understand other people. It's actually incredible. So this reflective ability is something schools can teach. That's the next R. What about relationships? Well, we're going to see that this brain we're going to get into in a moment has the capacity to make relationships work really well and people actually thrive and feel good about themselves and good about others. So you develop kindness and compassion toward yourself, really an important place to start, and kindness and compassion toward others. So this R of relationships really looks at all the research on well-being and says, the number one factor, whether you're looking at mental health, physiological health, medical health, longevity, or happiness, the number one factor in all those studies is relationships. How we have connections, positive connections with other people, is the best predictor of all those things. In fact, if you study wisdom, you find that wisdom is based on having these positive relationships. And you probably have heard these amazing studies which show that when you are given, let's say, $20, and you're asked to either spend it on yourself or give it in the service of someone else, gift it to someone else, the circuits in your brain that show you did the right thing, these reward circuits driven by a transmitter called dopamine, they get active when you give to someone else, which goes along with the study that when you give in service of other people, you actually are happier yourself. So if you want to be happier, actually think about someone else. That's the lesson from that. So relationships in schools can teach all of that. So that's the relationship part.